This is the Nebraska Men's Basketball Radio Show, presented by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit buyfordnow.com.
Wilcher and Vandermill. Vandermill takes the inbounds pass. Tominaga knocked to the floor, no call, gets back up with it as Breidenbach shoots the three. Got it! Bang! Ring! Wilhelm with a CBA three. Meyer, another three. This one's not good. The rebound and a great block out by Griesel. Vandermill's got the ball. 4-0 run to start the second half. Wilcher drives the basketball, splits a double. Oh! What a play! Wilcher, what a fantabulous play. There's our play of the game.
Wow, what a finish by C.J. Wilcher. Quick, tight, you can get that one any time.
In the passing lane, Gary takes it right back. Here's a 3-on-1. Wilcher, the lob, and the dunk. Bang! A ring.
Wow, was
What?
that
We have had a game of highlights.
Wow. And that was perfectly executed lob to Vandermill.
Here's Griesel to the right corner with it against Sensabaugh. Flips it between the circles to Wilcher, touch pass. Denim Dawson, jump stop, puts it up. Reverse layup, good! Holy smokes, what a play! What a finish by Denim Dawson.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, happy Monday, everybody, and welcome into Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. We got a full 2 hours ahead for you here in hour number one. It's our weekly Nebraska men's basketball show. We're so excited to have Ernie Zeigler, assistant coach, back with us again. Thanks for coming back. You were here a couple weeks ago.
Yes. Happy to be back so quickly.
Yes, and a little change in the schedule. We actually have the Northwestern Wisconsin game up right now. How is the schedule change for you guys this week with the game being pushed back to Wednesday? It was supposed to be tomorrow night. Has it changed much for you guys?
Well, it did because it gave us a chance to let our guys that are healthy rest yesterday as an off day, where it normally wouldn't have been an off day. We would have been preparing to play Northwestern tomorrow night. So from that standpoint, but as you know, it's just been a lot of adversity that we've had to adjust to, and our guys have been just really able to just keep next guy up mentality, and be it the schedule. We're not playing Tuesday, we're playing Wednesday, or whatever else that comes our way. We just got to keep being persevere through those things and stay together.
402-413-2400 if you want to be a part of the show on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Well, the big news of the day, you just kind of alluded to it, but Emmanuel Vandermill goes down in the game at Penn State. Announced today that he will miss the remainder of the season with a knee injury, and we were just talking about it before we went on the air. You hate to see anybody go down, but a guy like that, he is such a good person, just a nice human being. You don't find him nicer than him, and he's been such a huge part of this program. So how tough was it for this team to have that news?
Oh, it was just devastating. And during the game when it happened, you just, when he couldn't just bounce back, you just feel for the kid because he's just such a great person, better person than he probably is basketball player. But, he's heart and soul of our team in terms of what we have established, the defensive identity, and, our hearts go out to him.
We talk about his defense and what he does on the defensive end and all of that, and you just talk about him being the heart and soul. He's been such a good piece for this program, just like a perfect fit. So can you just speak to what he's meant to this team, this program, and how he's come in and be able to fit it? Because it's not easy to do, to come in as a new guy, but he fit right in, and just how important he's been just overall, both on and off the court for this program.
He's been huge in helping us turn this page and being one of the more competitive teams in our conference. And although the foundation or the bricks that he's helped lie for us, he may not get to see it obviously he's not even going to get to see it through the completion of this season. But, he's been huge for us just because his personality is just so, it's like a magnet. And, he's helped so many guys. He's such a vocal leader. Obviously, it's just a huge loss for us because he's had such an impact on our program in such a short period of time.
I know you guys will have conversations, and we don't have to get all into it, but you guys are making sure as coaching staff that he's taking care of, because his career's done, so he's not going to be able to play any more basketball as a Husker. But, as far as, dealing with the injury and then the rehab and finishing school and all that, I know those conversations are being had with him about what's next for him.
Yeah, well, I think, the most important thing is first, him getting his surgery scheduled here in the upcoming weeks, and then him, just with his family and Coach Hoiberg, just talking about how he's a Husker and how the Husker family is going to help him navigate through what's best for him in terms of getting healthy, in terms of, hopefully, even if he decides to come back to school and finish his grad and rehab at the same time, it would be a huge, I think it would be a huge thing for him. And, obviously that's not my call, but, hopefully that's, I just know the family atmosphere we have, it's about taking care of our guys and taking care of our student athletes. And, when you talk about student athlete welfare, all those things come into play.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the loss at Penn State. A lot of times when a guy like that goes down, a team can completely crumble, how much he means to this team. But guys continue to fight, and you said it, next man up. It seemed like, they rose to the challenge and kind of wanted to fill the void and play for him out there.
Yeah, and Greasel kind of led that charge in our locker room. Hey, we got to go. Let's go get this win for E. And unfortunately, we came up short. But our guys definitely rallied behind and around, that adversity. And, we have some things now, we got guys, we got freshmen that are all of a sudden now are going to play extensive minutes that they weren't playing early on, and like Jamarcus Lawrence and, Denim already, and I'd be remiss if I didn't we, just the week before we lost Juwan for the season. So, we've lost 2 starters and our best 2 defensive players, black shirt guys.
Yeah.
And, now, okay, we have to regroup. We have to reinvent ourselves. And at the same time, some guys step up in some roles. And it's a great time to see some guys grow as we go into the 3rd leg of our season.
Dorothy Lynch home style and light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. It's just what a tough blow back-to-back with Juwan and Emmanuel going out, but then you also still feel good with having leaders like Sam Breesley, you just mentioned, and Derek Walker, guys like that on the team that can still rally the troops, right?
No question. I mean, those 2, they've been anchors all season long, and, now it just puts a little more burden on them to not only lead and continue to be productive in their roles, take on a little more, but at the same time take on more of that leadership and helping some of these younger guys navigate their way in their roles. And and it's just a trickle down effect. All of a sudden, CJ is a junior, he has more responsibility, and Casey, and so it just Wilhelm, our guys that do have game experience, everyone has to get ready to do a little more to put ourselves in position, because the goal doesn't change. Our goal is to come out and be productive and put ourselves in position to win games. And, the next game is to get back to defending our home court, which we did a week ago on Wednesday, and we expect to do the same.
So back at the start of the Penn State game, you open up the game and Penn State goes on a 10-0 run, and thinking, call the timeout. Can you take us through what happened in the slow start, but then how you guys were able to get back into it? What went into that?
Well, I hate to use a boxer analogy, but they came out and just hit us right in the mouth, and for us, we got staggered. We didn't hit the canvas, but we got staggered, and Coach Hoiberg called that strategic timeout and kind of said, hey, guys, this is not who we are, and this is not how we expected. We knew they were going to shoot a lot of 3. They're a 3-point shooting team. And bam, we came right back and put ourselves right back in position. It was a 1-2 possession game the rest of the game, up until the last 3 minutes of the game.
Denim Dawson had a big game in the win against Ohio State, and then he follows that up and hit a big 3, had 9 rebounds. The team seems so pumped for him. So how has he stepped into this role over these last couple of weeks, that now that he's in a bigger role, and you talk about the next man up, how has he accepted and managed the bigger expectations, the bigger role now that he all of a sudden has to take on?
Well, I think, he's such a tough kid. He comes from such a tough family background, and his father's in the military, in the Marines, and so I think for him personally, it was just kind of okay. Let me step into this and do the things the team need, and particularly the tough things. He's a tough-minded kid, and he relishes doing the things some of the things that Juwan brought to the table. And so it's almost, I wouldn't say it's been seamlessly, but he's grasped that role, and hopefully he can continue to evolve in it and put ourselves in position to continue to have some success.
I said that the other night. It's funny you said that. I said that the other night on Sports Nightly about Denim stepping into that role, because to me, Denim reminds me a lot of Juwan. I know Juwan's played a lot more basketball, but in that way that he embraces, he doesn't care if he scores. He wants to rebound and he wants to defend, and he's just not a guy that is all about lighting up the scoreboard from the outside or shooting a bunch of shots. And Juwan was that way too. When I talked to him the first time about, hey, I'll do whatever, I'll do the dirty work. They kind of embraced that role, right?
No, they have, and probably for Denim, watching Juwan in that role was I'm speaking for him, but it was probably easy for him to see this is what he was doing. So this is what I need to do, and this is obviously with the direction of Coach Hoiberg and our staff, and pointing out different things to him strategically. We've seen the last two games. He's really embraced that role. So hopefully he can continue to do so and grow. And because as a freshman, he's going to be if he can continue to build upon this, it gives us the confidence to know here's a piece for the future.
Right.
And, because as a program, you got to have some guys that have, matriculate through the program, like Derek Walker, for instance.
How athletic is Denim Dawson?
Ooh. He's definitely in the top echelon of athleticism. He's a guy that can cover ground. Even when he makes a mistake or maybe be a split second slow in terms of where he should be positionally, he can make up for it with his athleticism as well as help others. The play he had against Ohio State last week when
he had like a couple that were
my God. He comes down he goes for offensive rebound. He gets knocked down underneath. It goes out of bounds and sprints down and comes down and affects and blocks and and deflects a shot when everyone is like at least 4 lengths in front of him. And that type of effort, is just astounding, and that's what this program is built upon, and that's what Coach Hoiberg is really entrenched in our guys' mindset, that this is who we are and this is how we're going to compete.
He's done some of that kind of stuff in practice, right? I remember last year when he got onto campus, and I know you weren't here, but people talk about how he's done some flashy things in practice. We just hadn't had a chance to see it as much until he has this bigger role.
Yeah, and I've heard the same. And but even since, I've come on in August in our workouts in the preseason, he can have those rundown blocks and those type of things that's just, superior athleticism, which he actually obviously possesses. So I just think as his confidence continues to rise in his role, and then all of a sudden you start to see him make some timely threes because he's working on the things that he needs to get better at, and as all our players are on a daily basis.
All right, time for our first break here on our Nebraska Men's Basketball Show. Again, 402-413-2400 if you want to be a part of this one. Your stories are all around you, and in the Lincoln Journal-Star is where they come to life. Go to lincolnjournalstar.com/story. Subscribe today and read on any digital device. Back with more here on our Nebraska Men's Basketball Show coming up right after this.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Have you come to a decision yet, sir?
Well, I like the sports car.
It is fun.
I also love the truck.
Yes, sir.
And the SUV is beautiful.
Definitely.
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
Well, I think we'll take it.
Which one, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean the dealership.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra. The perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. UNL has been awarded over $14 million by the U.S. Department of Commerce to expand robotics research and teaching spaces, part of a $25 million award given to the state of Nebraska to advance robotics research. The funding will allow the university to educate and train the next generation of Nebraska workers, entrepreneurs, and innovators for careers of the future.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan. Townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln for a free insurance review.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We welcome you back to hour number 1 here of Sports Nightly, our Nebraska men's basketball show. I'm Jessica Coody here with assistant coach Ernie Zeigler. Well, we were talking about the Penn State game and a couple changes there. Well, a change that you guys made going into the Ohio State game was moving Keisei Tominaga into the starting lineup and CJ Wilcher comes off the bench. And that was something that CJ did last year, did very well, was play that sixth-man role. Is that something that he's just kind of more comfortable coming off the bench, or just, I guess, how does a player, some certain players, do some people just feel more comfortable in that role?
Yeah, I think, for CJ, because he had a similar situation last year, he came into Coach Hoiberg here in the last 10, 14 days or so, and, said, hey, they had a great meeting, and CJ said, hey, Coach, I think I want to try coming off the bench again. And so, that attests to him being such a good team player, and it's about his team. It's like, well, hey, how can I best help my team?
Right.
And, he feels more comfortable in being able to do so in watching and seeing some things and seeing how the flow of the game begins. And, hopefully it's something he can continue to build upon, because he did a really good job, last week in both games. And hopefully he can continue to enhance it.
So he goes 3 for 5 from 3-point against Penn State. Keisei, 2 for 7. I mentioned Denim, knock one down, but another tough night, I guess, for everybody else. 6 for 22 from 3-point. And, it's not like this team is just flat out incapable of shooting shots. We've seen all of them, knocked down from the outside. But at times where you're in a game and you need someone to start getting hot from the outside, what goes into that? And I know if you had the answer, you'd fix it, obviously, in the game. But what are some of the things that you guys try to do to kind of maybe try to get things going from the outside?
Well, I think a lot of it is our spacing and guys being willing passers and creating those first opportunities, being open looks. Because the more open you are, the basket, looks like a peach basket, just huge for you if you're getting open looks and taking good shots. So, for us, is just trying to get guys, the right guys, those are good shots. And hopefully once it goes in, now you just continue to take the next one and wait on it and be patient and not get sped up in trying to hunt or take bad shots or have a heat check just because you made one or two. And, hopefully for us, it's going to start to happen where we get in a game where we're making, 8, 10, because this team is more than capable. We have not shot the ball as well as we're capable of. We have some good shooters, and, hopefully we can continue to work, which we're doing. That's going to have results in our contest.
When Coach Hoiberg was on the show with me last, we were joking about Emmanuel and how even when, because he was a scorer at SMU last year, just has not gone down for him as much this year. But even when he's not scoring, he makes just such a huge impact on the game. So I asked Coach Hoiberg, well, was that the case for you when you weren't scoring? And he's like, no, if I wasn't scoring, my butt was on the bench, basically. So we were kind of laughing about that. But there's a lot of guys on this team that if, and there's a lot of players that if the shot's not going down, they kind of quit on the other end. But for this team, nobody really quits. And it can be frustrating. I mean, as much as I'd like to say I never had a bad night shooting, I mean, you can get frustrated when it's not going down. And it doesn't seem like anybody ever lets that affect their effort on the defensive end.
No, they haven't. Because we've embraced this from the summer into the fall that, we're going to have a defensive mindset. So, if you want to have the extended minutes, because there's going to be days that you just can't hit the side of the barn with a brick. But how do you continue to impact winning? How do you continue to do that? By taking on your defensive assignment, being aware of those intangible things that we're trying to execute and or take away, and having a vigor and effort about playing as hard as you can and doing so. And, if you can do that, a lot of times it has helped us overcome some bad shooting nights and still be competitive and win.
Speaking of, someone in the chat wants to know how you'd stack up against Coach Hoiberg in a game of horse. Crypto King wants to know.
Coach Hoiberg, H, Coach Zeigler, E.
So you're saying you're not giving yourself much of a chance?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Check out the Husker Extra mobile app from the team at Lincoln Journal-Star. It's the best place for everything Husker sports. Search the App Store for Husker Extra and download today. Well, you had mentioned the Ohio State win. How fun was that for this team? I mean, again, a lot of adversity overcoming. You got guys in the lineup. Blaze Keto is out as well. Juwan Gary's out. But finding a way to win, and it literally took everybody to win that game. That had to be a fun one to celebrate in the locker room.
No, it was a huge win for us because it got us back to defending our home court, because the week before we had lost Illinois, which is, our first home loss since the Purdue game. And secondly, it was us again coming back off of a weekend on the road where we had adversity. Obviously the Purdue game was the first game that Juwan didn't play in, and then Griesel wasn't able to play, so we were down 2 guys that game, and then we came back home and was able to circle the wagons and put ourselves in position to get a huge win. And, when you look at our team, you mentioned Blaze. I mean, we've had, right now, we have 9 scholarship guys healthy. 9. Because, Q McPherson went down with an ACL injury before the season even began back in September, prior to when he got back to school, prior to coming back to school. And then obviously, we got Juwan now. Now we have Emmanuel. And now Blaze has been battling this high ankle sprain since the Queens game. And it's just
Sam's missed a few.
And Sam's missed a few. So, it's just been, hey, and it just goes to, it points to the leadership of Coach Hoiberg and the resilience of our guys and our staff, and that's what we're going to continue to do, and that's what we're going to do, and get ready for the Wildcats at Northwestern here on Wednesday.
What was it like down the stretch when, again, you're just putting in anybody and everybody who, if it's necessary, Derek Walker's in foul trouble? I mean, when you're in those timeouts and the huddles, what's it like? Can you take us in those timeouts? It's from you look at it, it's like 4-minute stanzas, and each time you got immediate timeout, and if we tell you the other team calls a timeout, and you have emotions just flowing. Mm-hmm.
And but the rocks that have been there for us have been Emmanuel at times where he's very, very vocal, and to the point where he may take up the majority of that timeout time, and then at times it's Derek, at times it's Griesel, so, now, it's probably the next guys are going to have to be CJ for us in doing so. But our guys, they just, even if it's, and the timeout there at Penn State is a prime example of it. He came out, it's like, hey, coach got after him. Guys said, yeah, you're right, coach, and bam, we came right back, boom, 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 and we're right back in the game. I think we scored 8 straight points, and it was 10-8, so hopefully we can continue to respond when things don't go our way in those timeout situations.
What were the conversations like with Derek Walker? He gets in foul trouble and just couldn't get into much of a rhythm there against Ohio State. And then for him to come out and perform the way he did against Penn State. I mean, I know that's been a conversation and he knows it. He's got to stay on the floor. But, is it something that's addressed after it happens, like in a game like Ohio State going into the next game, or is it he knows what he needs to do?
He knows. He's such a veteran and such a experienced guy. Obviously, he and Coach Hoiberg have those discussions, but the thing for him is he knows, it's the next game, and he has to get off to a start defensively, being able to move his feet and not put himself in a position where he's getting ticky-tacky fouls, and control what he can control. Because again, in some of those guys, I forget which game, it might have been the Illinois game, when he just, he got a bad call go against him, and it's, hey, it's what can you do? But he knows how important he is and how he has to be on the floor for us to be successful. So I think, it's not nothing we're really worried about.
Yeah, for sure. He responds with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And the Big Ten crew that were calling the game, they were talking about how there's not a better passing big man in the Big Ten. Do you agree with that assessment?
Without question. I mean, obviously we have a few more teams to play that we haven't played yet, but just from a totality standpoint of seeing some of the teams that we haven't played, he changes the game because it's his ability. He's such a willing passer, and he sees it and he leads guys and he makes guys better around him. So, it's a great skill set that he has, and, I don't think there's any other guy that even rivals him.
He just gets guys such good open looks too when people are keying in on him, and he probably could have had at least double-figure assists, I think, probably, if guys are able to knock down some of those shots. And, again, I just think his vision is just so impressive. He's 12th in the Big Ten in assists. Sam Griesel's 8th. But those two seem to have a cool connection, and they feed off of each other well. Has that been something that you guys have seen since the moment they've got on the court together, or has it developed? And how has it developed?
Well, I think it developed in the offseason. They have a great friendship and great camaraderie. So when they did begin to play on the court together, it just almost happened seamlessly. And I just think, for both of them, they're just such good guys, and then no one's, a lot of times you get on certain teams, I should say, that I've been a part of, sometimes guys are worried about being the guy, or what have you, where those two aren't worried about who's the guy, who's going to be the guy that's getting the most shots, whatever. They're such willing passers, and it just makes it fun for everyone else that are in their roles to be superstars in their roles, because you're playing with two guys who are leaders, who are going to share the ball and make the right decision and make the right play.
A lot of times it just look like they've been playing together for years, and you're just like, oh, they've only really been playing together since this, 5 or 6 months. But when you have a connection like that, I'm sure you had that when you were playing. How special is it to have that kind of connection? Oh,
it is. When you like or love, because a lot of times when you're on teams, you end up, I love this guy. I love competing with him. And when you're out there with guys that you have a genuine affection for, it just makes it so much fun. And, obviously those two have that great chemistry, and we're really happy and fortunate that they do.
Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, going to work in another break here on our Nebraska men's basketball show, but more coming up with Coach Zeigler right after this.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
The Lead Center for Performing Arts is celebrating 33 years of bringing the world's top artists to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln campus. Upcoming shows include Hamilton, Yo-Yo Ma, American Ballet Theater, and Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Get tickets at leadcenter.org.
Come support the women's basketball team as we pack PBA on February 18th against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Join the Omaha World Herald, Lincoln Journal-Star, Husker Extra, and Beck's Hybrids in helping the Nebraska women's basketball team pack PBA on February 18th when the Huskers face Iowa. Coach Williams and the Huskers want you there to give them a home court advantage against the Hawkeyes. Purchase your tickets at Huskers.com.
Hello, tomorrow. We may not know exactly what you've got in store for us, for our routines and our normals. But here's the thing. Turns out, we've got this. We haven't seen everything, but we have seen ourselves be more ready for whatever you bring than we thought we would be. So when it comes to tomorrow, bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Visit us at firstinterstate.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimate CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Your story. It lives in River City, where you can enjoy a metropolitan vibe and a small town feel, where we set the standard for service and looking out for one another, where there's so much more than steak in our thriving food scene. Your story is the story of Omaha, told by those who live it and love it, whether that's helping you keep up with the Cornhuskers or creating the content you crave. And here in the Omaha World Herald is where it comes to life. Omaha World Herald, where your story lives.
Check out the Husker Extra mobile app from the team at Lincoln Journal-Star. It's the best place for everything Husker sports. Search the App Store for Husker Extra and download today. As we welcome you back to our Nebraska men's basketball show. Got a couple of segments left with Ernie Zeigler. Well, we were talking a little bit of football. The last time you were here was the national championship, right?
Yes, it was.
So what did you think of how the NFL playoffs played out? Because you're a Steelers fan. We talked about that. Which
I don't have a dog in the fight right now, but
for the Bengals? Andrew's back there laughing.
No, I can't pull for the Bengals.
Husker made a big play. You know, Cam Taylor-Britt, you can cheer for him.
Yeah,
Zach
individually.
Taylor, the head coach.
Individually. But for me, I was pulling for the Cowboys just because Dak Prescott was, when I was at Mississippi State, and
oh yeah,
you know, and it was his senior year, my first year there, and got to meet him, and you know, but now,
you're out.
Yeah, I'm out.
You know that the Cowboys was Andrew's Super Bowl team, so you guys are just like on all the same page as far as football teams. So I can't handle it. All right, we did get a text from you on our Woodhouse Auto Family text line, and question for Coach: in light of the difficult Big Ten schedule, would it be possible to play a more generous / easier non-conference schedule to build up your confidence and pocket a few good more wins?
Yes, amen to that.
When you read that in the break, you're like, yes, read that.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, that's going to be our our goal here as we build the schedule for this upcoming season. Because our league, I mean, like right now, you go to bracketology, Joe Lunardi, there's 10 teams slated, to possibly receive NCAA bids this season. So, our league is a gauntlet, and, it's 20 games, and that means we have 11 games to schedule non-conference wise, and hopefully we're going to be more strategic. And we fell into some traps in this one that we had to play. Obviously, we're playing Creighton every year.
Yep.
That's a given. And prior to that, we had the ACC Big Ten Challenge, so that's not going to be there next year for us. So that's going to open up some flexibility. And then we played in that tournament in Orlando that we were already contracted to play in, so you couldn't just wiggle your way out. So that was 3 less home games that we had. And, then we played in the Gavitt game against at St. John's, and we had Kansas State that we had started. So hopefully, we're going to have a little more wiggle room where, we have 7 or 8 games that we can schedule, and they're here at the Vault, and then still play. You still want to test yourself and against some Power Fives and put yourself in position to have some good games. So that will be the plan moving forward.
Wait, how dangerous of a team is Kansas State going to be, or can they be for teams?
Oh, my God. I mean,
they just knocked off Kansas.
Jerome Tang's done a heck of a job. And that's the thing, you talk about team chemistry and guys getting along and coming together. You see that team, we played them and saw it up close and personal. They're just, they're playing for each other, and they got a key guy and a transfer, and Keontae Johnson that, we actively was involved with as well. And, unfortunately, it wasn't able to work out for us, but it obviously, you see how key of a cog he can be for a team, because he's definitely the straw that's stirring that drink over there for the Wildcats at Kansas State.
Buckle up and put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. So Coach Hoiberg was in last Monday on MLK Day, and he had told Greg that you spoke with the team. So I wanted to ask you about that, about the message that you had and how neat that was to be able to talk to the team.
Well, it was great, and Coach gave me that opportunity, and I just wanted to express to our guys that Martin Luther King, we celebrate his birthday because he was a Nobel Prize winner, and had so many different so much impact on our country in helping change the mindset of our great country, and gave his life to lead to lead others and lead a by example of being nonviolent, but being for what's right, and treating people because of treating and judging people because they have great character, and judging them by their actions, irregardless of their their race or religion or what have you. So, and that's why I'm actually a prime example of living and having an opportunity because of it, and and that's what I just talked to our guys about, is just being prideful and understanding what a privilege it is to live in our country right now, where you can have opinions and be judged by the content of your character and your actions, and not by other things.
You talk about a group of guys with a lot of character. There's a lot, that team, your team is full of it, and there's a lot of things that you don't see them do that's not always advertised, but they do so many things to give back to the community. And Sam Griesel is actually hosting a blood drive coming up because he had to have a blood transfusion, and that saved his life last spring. How impressive is that, and some of the things that these guys are doing outside of just being a basketball player? Well,
it lets you know they are embracing that there's life beyond basketball. And although this is what fuels our daily grind or what have you, to see that, Griesel has the blood drive, because that's going to help someone. That's going to help others. And when you give of yourself, all of a sudden you're about humanity and you're about helping others, irregardless if you know them personally or not. And, he leads by example, and we have numerous guys on our team that give of themselves. And that's how you become, when you're a good person and you have a genuine heart, good things are going to happen for you, and it's going to help you persevere through the things that don't go well for you.
Yeah, Sam Griesel, I just mentioned him because it's coming up, and you can still sign up and give back. I was looking for the information, exactly when it is, but go to Huskers.com. Here it is. Okay, so Friday, February 17th, noon to 6. Donation time slots are available, so you can get more information on Huskers.com or on Sam Griesel's social media profile. But yeah, I mean, Derek Walker hosted a camp for special needs back in the summer. I mean, I know this team as a group does a lot to give back. It's a really neat group, and Coach Hoiberg's been saying that from the start, that fans are going to like this group. And it is fun to watch them play on the court, but they do a lot of stuff off the court that even we don't see.
Yeah, they do, and it's just great to be around them and on a daily basis and watching guys. Some guys grow from young men to men, and some guys that are a little older, giving that direction and helping guys. Because at the end of the day, it's just about being a good person. If you're being a good person, if you are a good person, 9 times out of 10, good things are going to happen for you.
Amen. Well said. All right, got to work in our final break here on our Nebraska men's basketball show. Got one final segment left with Ernie Zeigler. First Interstate Bank, built for you. Learn more at www.firstinterstatebank.com. Member FDIC.
Nebraska women's basketball offers one of the best values in all of Husker sports, with single game reserve tickets at Pinnacle Bank Arena for just $15. Adult general admission seating is just $10, while youth and senior general admission tickets are $5. Children 6 and under are just $1. Plans now to bring your whole family to Husker women's basketball for Big Ten home games in January and February. Get your tickets and the full schedule at Huskers.com.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Woodhouse Nissan makes car buying easy, enjoyable, and stress-free. We will bring the dealership to your driveway with Nissan at Home. You can shop, drive, and buy a new or pre-owned Nissan, all from the comfort of your own home. Explore every aspect of the purchasing process at your pace and convenience. Get real pricing on your vehicle of choice, review lease and financing options, and complete a credit application. Get to your next adventure faster with Woodhouse Nissan.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in a company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Yours are all around you, and in the Lincoln Journal-Star is where they come to life. Go to lincolnjournalstar.com/story. Subscribe today and read on any digital device. Final segment here of our Nebraska men's basketball show with Ernie Zeigler. We got a text for you on the text line. Art in Los Angeles wants to know, who is your all-time favorite NBA player and who inspires him the most? Who inspires you the most?
Well, that's Michael Jordan. It's my favorite all-time NBA player. He's just stone cold killer. And even though I grew up in Detroit and during the Bad Boys era, I got caught a lot of flack because I was a Jordan fan during that time. And then inspires me the most. Probably Martin Luther King, just because of someone making that sacrifice. For me personally, my mom grew up in the South during Jim Crow, what have you, in Mississippi, and so, as a young kid in the 70s going back there, and my mom, saying to me and my brother, hey, you guys, you got to be careful when your cousin doing, so those start things, and you hear the stories or what have you. So at the end of the day, it's Martin Luther King because he helped change a mindset of the majority of our country, and now that mindset is very much a minority.
Love it. Okay, let's talk about, with a couple minutes left, Northwestern. They're in a battle right now with Wisconsin. We were just talking how it might come down to the stretch with this one. Again, change of the schedule because they were dealing with COVID issues, but what have you guys seen out of Northwestern? Oh, man, a great team. They play very well together. They have some experienced guards and Bowie and Audigi. They share the ball, and they're one of the better defensive teams in our league. So, I don't know where their health is in terms of what they came off of the last week or so. But, it's going to be a huge challenge for us to continue to defend our home court against another physical, well-coached Big Ten team. They lead the Big Ten and are 10th in the country, I believe, in turnover margin. When you see a stat like that, I think they're +5 in turn. What do you take away from that when you see that stat out of a team? Well, as you know, they have very aggressive guards or wings that are out in the passing lanes, and to the point where they're gambling some, because to get steals or create steals, either from your if it's full court pressure or half court pressure, you're putting yourself out there where you're trying to force turnovers more so than trying to make the other team make mistakes. So, they're a very aggressive group defensively. So we're going to have to be strong with the ball and make good decisions, and hopefully put them in positions where their tenacity works against them. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always click or call 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. One final minute here. I mean, you guys talked about how special it was to have the crowd even despite the weather last week. And I know you guys are looking for a big one coming up. Protect the Vault again, 6 o'clock against Northwestern. How much would you love a big crowd out there again? Oh, huge. It'll be huge for us. And our students are back. We're back in school. So, I know that's going to be a huge boost. And hopefully the weather stays calm and cool. Might be a little temper. It's going to be nice and warm in the Vault, and let's go ahead and get this next home victory over the Wildcats. All right. Thanks for your time. Thanks for spending the last hour with us. Appreciate your time, Ernie Zeigler. Best of luck. Go get them tomorrow. Thank you, Jessica. Go Big Red. All right. We got the 6 o'clock again, Northwestern pregame show right here on the Huskers Radio Network coming up 5 o'clock with Jake and Kent. Check out the Husker Extra mobile app from the team at Lincoln Journal-Star. It's the best place for everything Husker sports. Search the App Store for Husker Extra and download today. All right. Got another hour of Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built For America, Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students in Nebraska's Rake School of Computer Science and Management created software that is saving a Nebraska e-commerce company 34,000 hours of work per year. Created by a group of 5 Rake School students for their Design Studio Capstone project, this software is one of 300 real-world software solutions created by Rake School students.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. 3 new commitments today for Matt Rule's Huskers, 2 high school athletes, and 1 transfer portal addition for the Big Red. A pair of high schoolers from Arlington, Texas. Verbal to the Huskers today, tight end Ishmael Smith-Flores, whose dad was a star at Iowa, and his teammate, wide receiver Jeremiah Charles, have both committed to NU. Both played for new tight ends coach Bob Wager. Also coming to Nebraska, Georgia offensive tackle Jacob Hood. He becomes the 3rd Bulldog to transfer to Nebraska in the last several weeks. We're going to hear more about all 3 from Rivals Greg Smith coming up in a few minutes. Devastating news today on the Husker basketball front is star Emmanuel Bandamel. Fred Hoiberg announced that Bandamel suffered a season-ending knee injury in Saturday's game at Penn State. That follows the loss of forward Juwan Gary earlier this month to a shoulder injury. The Huskers will be back on the court Wednesday night at home versus Northwestern. That game was moved from Tuesday to Wednesday because of COVID issues within the Wildcat program. They have resumed playing. They're playing tonight against Wisconsin. Currently trail the Badgers with 8 minutes to go, 52-51. On the women's side, a couple of major battles in the Big Ten tonight. 10th-ranked Iowa trying to hand number 2 Ohio State their first loss. The Hawkeyes lead it early third quarter, 50-41, and tipping off at about 10 minutes, number 6 Indiana at number 13 Michigan. Husker baseball announced today their annual Fan Fest will be held Saturday, February the 11th in the Hawks Championship Center. The event will take place from noon to 2. That event will give fans a chance to meet the Huskers, get autographs, participate in a wiffle ball home run derby. There'll also be inflatables made available as well. The first 1,000 fans will get a free hot dog and a bottled water. Huskers open the season February 17th at San Diego with their home opener set for March 7th against Northern Colorado. The Husker men's indoor track and field squad is ranked 10th in the country. That's the highest ranking for the Big Red in 8 years. They're going to be on the road for the first time this weekend in Lubbock, Texas at the Texas Tech Open. Our sports ticker again sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Stick around. Hour 2, Sports Highlight coming up next.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Meyer, another 3. This one's not good. The rebound and a great block out by Griesel. Vandermel's got the ball. 4-0 run to start the second half. Wilcher drives the basketball, splits a double. Oh! What a play! Wilcher, what a fantabulous play! There's our play of the game.
Wow, what a finish by C.J. Wilcher. And the first time tonight, the crowd is on their feet. A little 6-0 run to start the second half.
Kaiser, left low block, guarded by Stewart. Knock away to steal for Kimball Moriarty. Here come the Huskers with 1:06 to go in the second quarter.
There it is.
Trailing by 11. 3-ball, Lonnie Stewart all alone. You betcha! Off the steal and assist from Kimball Moriarty. Timeout, Kim Barnes-Zarico.
And here come the Husker crowd.
To Jazz Shelley.
Throw it back.
Jazz has a double team. Throws it deep left side. Kellen Hake for 3. You betcha!
Griesel bring it across the timeline. How about a couple of quick baskets here? Down 10, deep left corner, Jamarcus Lawrence 3. Got it! Nothing but net. Swishel, a CBA 3 for Jamarcus Lawrence.
Hot top Hybe has it. Huskers looking for a road win over a top 5 team. Hybe driving and scoring down the left lane line. That was classic Sam Hybe.
Yeah, good pace by Sammy. Nebraska answers.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, Hour 2, Sports Highlight here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed hearing from Coach Ernie Zeigler in the last hour. Man, if that team had any luck, it would be no luck would be better for that team right now. It's unbelievable, some of these injuries.
And yet they still find ways to win games probably they shouldn't, and then also be in games when you'd think that they would not, they'd be down and out. They still continue to fight and battle, and they're right there. And, you know, we talked about that a little bit. I mean, it's absolutely just a devastating blow that you lose Emmanuel Bandamel and you already lost Juwan Gary, but you still have 2 incredible leaders and players in Derek Walker and Sam Griesel. And you still feel like with those 2 guys on the floor that you never know what could happen.
Going to have to really lean on those 2.
Yep.
Going to the next
Absolutely.
few stretches. And as I mentioned...
If Derek Walker needed to stay on the floor before, now he really needs to stay on the floor.
Sure does. I mean, there just is no room for error for those teams. And, you know... it's a great opportunity for like Jamarcus Lawrence and Denim Dawson. They're going to have to play a lot of very big-time minutes. They both need to step up and make some free throws. That was awful Saturday. They couldn't hit any of those free throws.
Yeah, I mean, there's been times the whole team struggled at the free throw line and have gotten better. So maybe you give them a little leeway, a couple of games. But yeah, they both need to get better. But boy, Denim had 9 rebounds, played some good defense again. And, I just think he's going to be a guy. They're so young. They're just going to get better every time. Jamarcus Lawrence had a tough game out, but he's been playing so well. And 2, though, he's going to be in a bigger defensive role, which, again, sometimes that's hard to balance, playing in the defensive role and then also being someone that can be looked to on the offensive end too. But he's a guy that can shoot it really well. That's going to knock down shots. But I think those guys are going to keep getting better. And it's also too, sometimes when you get this opportunity, you see guys really embrace it and step up to the challenge, and that's what they're going to have to do.
And again, their game, which is scheduled for tomorrow, has been moved back a day. Northwestern's had some COVID issues. They're back on the court tonight. They're playing Wisconsin tonight. That was supposed to have been a Saturday game, and because they're playing tonight, they requested, and rightfully so, to get an extra day prep to get to Lincoln tomorrow and then play the Huskers on Wednesday night. 6 o'clock. So if you get tickets, or tickets are going to work. Different date, I get that, but tickets are still going to work for you to get in there on Wednesday night for that game. And the weather should be pretty good for you to get to PBA, unlike last week when we had that rain and ice coming down. So it should be much easier to get to the PBA on Wednesday night. Wow, what a day it's been for Matt Rule and the Huskers. Picked up 3 commitments today, 2 from the high school that Bob Wager, who's the new tight ends coach, has been coaching at, and then the big man from Georgia. I know you were trying to talk to him. I think you bumped into, or you saw him. I hope you didn't bump into him because he's a big, big man.
I didn't actually see him, but he was absolutely on campus, and got the feeling that things were going well when he was here. And so I think they thought they were going to get him. There's a connection, obviously, between Georgia and this coaching staff here. But I also think, too, the way that the Georgia program is ran and, the expectations and how you are to approach your role within a certain program and the high expectations and how this coaching staff is going to expect a lot of these guys. I think it ends up being a good fit, if that makes sense of how Coach Rule is going to run things here at Nebraska. And so I think probably a lot of these guys that went to Georgia and then they come on a visit here and realize there's some similarities. And so what they fell in love with at Georgia, it kind of applies here, and how this coaching staff is going to manage this program here. And so while it's not that they didn't like Georgia, they're loaded with talent there. And so you might see the writing on the wall that maybe you're not going to get as much playing time. And so let's go find a spot where I can go make an impact and make an impact pretty immediately, but then it's also going to be a good fit for me. And so I think that's where it seems like there's probably going to be some similarities between the cultures and what is expected at Georgia, what they had there, and what they're going to have here.
Well, you've got 2 fantastic stadiums, 2 very passionate fan bases, and I think that comes across to both. And so if you're sitting there going, I don't know how much opportunity I'm going to get here, I want to look for something like this, but maybe where I have a better chance to get on the field. And I think that makes Nebraska pretty attractive to a lot of these guys. So Hood coming here. Obviously, offensive line is an area that we've talked so much about all season long. You and Jeremiah talk about it a lot. This is going to be a guy that's going to get in the mix, and he's going to have a chance to be a player and maybe even a starter here for the Huskers.
Yeah, I mean, it's needed. The depth is needed. I mean, we have hammered it home. I feel like we talked about it every single week all throughout the season, and even, over the last couple of podcasts since the season ended, because just in the Big Ten and the way things go, you really need to have 10 guys. You need to have 2 full rotations, and it's to the point, too, where it's not just, you got your backups, but where you don't miss a beat when you have to substitute somebody in or move guys around. And so that depth is so important in this brutal conference when it's what happens. It happens to everybody. Guys go down, guys get tweaked, you miss a week here or there. You got to be able to plug guys in and not drop off. And so that depth is just so important to have. And I think that's what they're going to continue to build. It's been depleted a little bit here, and we saw that be a factor last year. So hopefully they're building that back up, and they got some young guys coming in, and they'll continue to be able to have that room grow and grow.
Jessica, I was doing some quick math. Since Matt Rule took over this program, they have added 36 scholarship roster additions. 25 of those high school/junior college editions, 11 portal editions. So the 11 portal, I think last year got to 15 or 16. So that's not really that outrageous. A lot of new high school faces coming into the program.
Yeah, because last year we were talking about, last year there was still a limit, right? Last year there was still the limit, I believe, on what you could bring in a class.
I think so, yes.
And so there was, there's a lot of talk about how Nebraska's recruiting class was not very high, but a lot of that was because of the numbers that were within the class, because they couldn't sign as many high school kids because they were bringing in more transfer portal guys. But that limit has been lifted, and so and I think too, they attacked a lot of the needs that were needed, with the transfer portal, and then you're talking about a lot of the high school kids are the high school players are the ones where you're talking about building for the future, and so a lot of there are obviously some guys that are coming and make an immediate impact, but I think this recruiting class specifically, a lot of them will be guys that they'll look to develop, because that's what Coach Rule and the staff does, is they get these guys and they develop them throughout the program, and so maybe good portion of them might not come in and make an immediate impact. And I think those transfer portal guys, that big group of those guys, are the ones that they're looking to come in and make an immediate impact.
Last year the number was 16. I just went through my notes and found it. 16 portal additions a year ago. So at 11 now, and I think it could change some more. I don't know that there's many more portal guys on their radar right now. But again, the second portal opens up in April, so they could add a few more in May. Because last year I think they added O'Shawn late, Devin Drew late, maybe even Stephon Wynn. I think all three. I think both kickers were already done before we got to spring.
Yeah, but wasn't the portal open all spring last year?
I think it was.
Because now there's those windows.
Right.
So it closes. I think it didn't close last year.
I think you're right.
And so O'Shawn, couple of those guys, O'Shawn committed after he came to the spring game here. He was blown away by what he experienced coming to the spring game. And so a couple of those guys came during the spring game visit, which I guess to me is like, I guess if you're a high school kid, maybe you could come to the spring game.
Sure.
But if you're now a transfer portal guy, you can't as an official visit.
Because the spring game is April 14th, and the portal opens on the 15th.
Oh, yep.
So, and hey, Nebraska's going to have people.
Well, no, the spring game's on the 22nd.
Is it the 22nd?
Yes.
22nd.
22nd.
Okay. Confirmation from Tim over there. So the
Is that an inside joke?
And no, just joshing with the boys.
Okay.
So I lost my train of thought now.
The portal opens up on the 15th.
Nebraska's going to have a bunch of guys go into the portal in the spring is my point. But we're going to have that because we're over the 85 now.
Yeah. I mean, I think once you go through the spring, but I think that's awesome that they're giving them a chance, and we'll see and see how it all plays out. But that must have been strategic, having the spring game the weekend after the portal opens.
Maybe a little.
So that maybe you
strategy.
can have guys come visit officially.
I don't know if you caught some video of this. Malachi Coleman was playing in an all-star game over in Hawaii over the weekend. He looked fantastic.
Yeah.
2 touchdown catches, and people were saying, I think he got named the MVP of the game, one of the MVPs of the game. That's impressive.
He looked like he had put on some weight, too.
He did.
I thought.
Little bigger up top.
I thought he looked a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, they couldn't stop him. They didn't have anybody that could stop him. He looks like he could be pretty special. I can't wait to see how he's developed here.
Gosh, he's a talented young guy. He gets here, gets the right mindset, good coaching. It's going to be fun.
I know he can fly, but it just looks so effortless. It's a little bit.
Long strider.
I know it's a little bit like Trey Palmer was. I know, and Trey's a lot smaller, I guess, shorter, but. It was deceiving a little bit how fast Trey Palmer was, but Malachi, it's just so seamless that it's
easy.
Yeah, it looks so easy.
Easy for him. So if you didn't see it, folks, go on social media. You'll be able to find some highlights. He looked great. He was catching the ball from a quarterback who Andrew told me earlier is going to Tennessee. He looked really good as well. So
I thought you could also see how good his hands were too. I mean, it's just I had never seen him play. I mean, I've seen highlights from the huddle, but like just watching some of the live action, I mean, you can just tell he's going to be. There's a reason why he was the #1 recruit in the state, right?
No, that's exactly right, and so sought after by so many different people, and a reason why Deion Sanders was after him really hard there at the end. He wanted him to join that Buffalo fray that's going on out in Boulder. I saw Joel Klatt today already speculating that he thinks Deion, not this coming fall, but in 2024, he thinks Colorado will be a real threat to make the playoffs.
Joel Klatt's a Colorado homer.
I know he is.
You know, I mean, he's never had the opportunity since he's broke onto the scene as an analyst. Like,
to really
you know,
talk up.
Kirk Herbstreit has had to be so hard on Ohio State.
Yep.
I think Dusty Dvorak's pretty hard on Oklahoma when he calls their games. But Joel Klatt hasn't had that opportunity yet. So he's going to come in. He's going to have to, you know, tread lightly on that. He's going to have to realize, hey, you have to be harder on your alma mater.
A little bit, maybe on that. We're going to see him, folks, in about 8 months. We're going to be seeing those Buffaloes out in Boulder. Hey, check out the Husker Extra mobile app from the team at Lincoln Journal-Star. It's the best place for everything Husker sports. Search the App Store for Husker Extra and download that today. Got some pretty good basketball going on. They got a good one in Evanston, Northwestern, and Wisconsin. You got Iowa trying to hand Ohio State on the women's side their first loss of the year. Andrew is nervous as all get out because Duke's in a battle against Virginia Tech, so he'll be worthless to us over the next hour as well. Nothing new. All right, 402-413-2400. When we come back, one of our favorites, Greg Smith from Rivals, will come on and give us his evaluation of some of these new guys who are going to become Cornhuskers. All that coming up next.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students from Nebraska's Johnny Carson Center for Emerging Media Arts helped create visual effects for the Star Wars TV series Obi-Wan Kenobi. This opportunity came from a 3-month internship with Lola VFX, a visual effects firm in Los Angeles. This internship transitioned to employment, with Huskers also creating effects for the superhero movie Thor: Love and Thunder.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Experience the difference at Woodhouse Buick GMC. From the GMC Acadia to the Buick Encore, we're sure to have a vehicle that fits your lifestyle. Our climate-controlled showroom guarantees a comfortable shopping experience every time you visit. Plus, our commitment to our customers continues well beyond the date of purchase. You will leave our lot feeling comfortable and confident in your new vehicle. Start your car buying journey today, in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Come support the women's basketball team as we pack PBA on February 18th against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Join the Omaha World Herald, Lincoln Journal-Star, Husker Extra, and Beck's Hybrids in helping the Nebraska women's basketball team pack PBA on February 18th when the Huskers face Iowa. Coach Williams and the Huskers want you there to give them a home court advantage against the Hawkeyes. Purchase your tickets at huskers.com.
It's time again for some Nebraska farm facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
When you're a fan, you wear your team's jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. After a win, your world glistens. Lose, and the hurt permeates your soul. You'll always have a place with us in the Cox Fan Zone, where everyone can play and connect with other fans in a big group hug. See, in the Fan Zone, you're not some crazy fan. You're home.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe, voice of the Huskers. Say Fan Zone into your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Huskers.
Nebraska women's basketball offers one of the best values in all of Husker sports with single-game reserve tickets at Pinnacle Bank Arena for just $15. Adult general admission seating is just $10, while youth and senior general admission tickets are $5. Children 6 and under are just $1. Plans now to bring your whole family to Husker women's basketball for Big Ten home games in January and February. Get your tickets and the full schedule at huskers.com.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center. It is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined tonight by Greg Smith from Rivals, covers the Huskers and the recruiting game, and what a great night to have him on. It's been an active day after an active weekend. I'm sure you're not hurting for stuff to write or talk about, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely not. Hey, thanks for having me back, first and foremost. Good to be back with you. But yeah, it's definitely not a slow time in the recruiting world, right? I think that everything happening at once after, like you said, a very busy visit weekend is definitely good for business.
Well, let's talk about some of these newest additions. Ishmael Smith Flores made the announcement earlier today, a big tight end out of Arlington, Texas. What can you tell us about this young fella?
Yeah, I think that he's another one of those, and we've seen this a lot here lately in recent years, especially, and a lot actually in the Midwest, even though he's from Texas, is these hybrid tight ends, right? He's 6'5", 210, and I got to talk to him earlier, and he said that they really, Coach Satterfield sat him down and really explained to him how he would like to use him as kind of this flex tight end, kind of that new version of a tight end that you see running around the NFL, and that was kind of music to his ears, that you get to be able to do a little bit of everything, line up in the backfield, split out as a wide receiver, be in line with your hand in the dirt as a tight end. And of course, he came into the weekend with a favorable impression of Nebraska because his former high school coach, Bob Wager, is now the tight ends coach at Nebraska. So that helped quite a bit as well.
Bob Wager, he's been a busy guy because later in the day, Jeremiah Charles, another player that played for him down there, he's decided to become a Cornhusker as well, right?
Yeah, he absolutely did. And this one has become quickly one of my favorite stories of kind of this recruiting cycle, as this thing really happened very quickly. As I believe it was last Tuesday, Coach Rule, Coach Wager, and Coach Evan Cooper, secondaries coach, went down to Arlington High School and saw Jeremiah play basketball. And I don't know if Jeremiah knew that this was going to be this big of a deal of a basketball game for him, but he put on a show, had 22 points, including 4 dunks. There was a cryptic Rule tweet with a bunch of emojis. that also kind of got some attention, and that's what Rule was talking about the athleticism that he saw out of Jeremiah. Jeremiah then got an offer from Nebraska on Tuesday, set an official visit for this weekend, and ends up committing as a Husker today. So it's been a whirlwind for him. He hasn't been playing football long, but his athleticism is off the charts, and he really fits that profile of what Matt Rule and company are looking for as far as getting athletes and then kind of coaching them up later.
You know, that seems to be a bit of a trend, doesn't it, Greg, with these guys? Jeremiah, Ishmael, that hasn't played a ton of football in his life. They've gotten some track guys who may be more accomplished on the track than they are football, but it seems like this group's willing to kind of take some flyers on guys who are just really good athletes.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and you know, if you look through their history, this isn't something that, you know, is new to what they're doing here at Nebraska. And I'm sure you've talked about it in previous weeks. You know, they've done a lot of work with the current track coaches here at Nebraska, talking about kind of nutrition plans and strength and conditioning plans to make sure all of that's in lockstep. And the reason that they're already hitting the ground running with that is because they've done this at previous stops, and there are a lot of guys that they've taken from, you know, track backgrounds, developed them and coached them up, and then now they're playing in the NFL. So that's kind of an exciting thing that I don't know that people really realized when Matt Rule was hired that was something that he's done a lot, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on down the road.
Always on the eye for looking out for a good addition to the team. Again, visiting with Greg Smith of Rivals here on Sports Sunday. Big day for the Huskers. And speaking of big, Jacob Hood's a big fella, and this is another one of those Georgia Bulldogs that's kind of looking for maybe more playing time, fresh start, new set of eyes on top of him. He's put out on his social media account that he's going to become a Cornhusker. This is a big man, Greg. He's like 350-pounder. This is a big fella.
Yeah, he's a really big guy, 6'8", 350 pounds. Ooh. And what's kind of wild, he told me earlier today, before he announced his commitment, that he's actually lost 70 pounds. So he was up over 400 pounds in high school. And obviously the talent had been there, and there's been some kind of viral clips floating around of him at various camp settings in high school, just kind of ragdolling kids around, as you would imagine at that size. But he's a guy, like you mentioned, that he didn't crack the lineup in Georgia. He was only there for 1 year, and he had an ankle injury last spring that kind of stunted his development as well. And you know, at a place like Georgia, once you kind of get behind, there's a lot of guys kind of waiting to take those spots, right? We've seen that, you know, with a guy like Eric Gilbert, another tight end addition for Nebraska as well. And so Jacob Hood, I think, will be a guy that gets in the mix for Nebraska, and whether or not it's this year or in the future, he's got 4 years left of eligibility, so it'll be nice to see, you know, what Coach Raiola and Coach Rule and Satterfield kind of mold him into.
Greg, this makes 3 Georgia guys coming this way. I mean, obviously there's some kind of connection, right, with Matt Rule and somebody on that staff that he's getting some names funneled his way.
Yeah, there is. So Fran Brown is the defensive backs coach at Georgia right now. And stop me if you've heard this before with Nebraska's current staff, is Fran Brown was given his first full-time coaching job by Matt Rule at Temple. Then Fran Brown followed Matt Rule to Baylor as well. And now Fran Brown is one of the best secondaries coaches in the country as he reels in, you know, 5-star after 5-star for Georgia down there. And so that's one connection. The strength coach, Corey Campbell, also has the connection to Georgia, and his old position coach is still there. So there's a couple of different things that has Nebraska and Georgia connected that could be helping to kind of lean some of these players Nebraska's way.
Greg, the scholarship count's got to be getting on the high side, right? I mean, but I don't get the feeling they're done. I mean, there's one more weekend that they can do before the signing day next Wednesday. Are they? Do you expect more visitors this weekend? Where do you think this is all going?
Yeah, we're close to 100. It's funny, I get asked this on our message board all the time, where the scholarship number is. I just say it's close to 100. In the end, it will work itself out once we get to kind of fall camp in August and when they need to be down to 85. But I'm with you. I do not think that they're done. You know, you've got this last visit weekend. You've still got a couple of guys that visited this past weekend that I think Nebraska stands a really good chance to end up signing as well. And so, like I said, I don't think that they're done. I think that there's more to come, and if they can, you know, kind of turn over some more rocks as we get going here until this final weekend, you never know about what surprises will pop up in that final weekend leading into signing day.
Greg, I just want your take on what feedback are you getting from some of these guys and some of the ones that are still maybe haven't committed, and what are you hearing from the coaching community, the high school coaching community, about this staff?
Yeah, I think it's similar, and it's funny that you asked that, because today Ishmael Smith-Flores, he talked about what a great guy Matt Rule is and how much of a program builder he is. When you talk to prospects, really the top thing that they know about this staff, two things. One, that they're very relatable and that they're personable people, which is great on the recruiting trail, right? And two, that they have a history of rebuilding programs. I think that's definitely kids are well aware of that. When it comes to high school coaches, I would say that the praise has been even better. I think that you've seen, Ed Foley kind of all around the state, and you see the response that he's gotten from that. You see the kind of the concentrated effort that Nebraska has made now to really get into local high schools. If they offer a kid, they're there weekly to try and, continue to build that relationship. I think that this staff has made a tremendous impression just in a short amount of time with both prospects and coaches, and I can't help but think that that's also going to trickle over to the current players on the team as well.
Well, the Ishmael one makes me smile a lot because I know he's got a lot of Iowa roots, and his dad played there, and to snag him away from the Hawkeye program, that's got to be a little extra satisfying, I would think.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's funny, I definitely had to ask him about that earlier, and he laughed because I was like, hey, what did the family think about that? And he laughed. He said, they want me to pick the best thing for me. But then he kind of laughed and, kind of paused. I know that they had to have been a little upset. I mean, not only, did his dad go there, both his parents are graduates of Iowa. His dad is in the Iowa, Hall of Fame for football. There's a lot of ties there. But he also had ties to Rutgers. He has a cousin that currently plays at Rutgers and one that previously played there before. So good bloodlines in the family.
Where do you guys have Nebraska kind of on the national scale? Where does Rivals have it as it sits right now?
Yeah, so they're right there on the cusp of that top 25, 24, 25 in that range right now. And things, of course, are kind of still being tabulated because it depends on it gets complicated with the formula, because once we get to this many kids in a class, each kid that comes in, you have to take one off of the bottom to calculate the rating. So basically think of it this way. The higher rated a kid is that Nebraska gets, the more likely they are to continue to jump up. It's not just getting another one. You got to get another higher rated one. But I think Nebraska still has room to continue to grow. If they can finish within that top 25 or right around there in a transition class, with the lack of time that Matt Rule and this staff really had to really give this a go, that would be a great accomplishment and really should make people excited for what could happen in the 24 class. I'm
hearing a lot of excitement out there. Greg, good stuff as always. Where's the best way people can follow you to get the latest information?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Greg Smith Rivals, and then you can see all of the work at nebraska.rivals.com, our Inside Nebraska site.
Fantastic. Great stuff as always. Greg, good to have you back on.
Hey, thank you.
Greg Smith from Rivals with us here on Sports Night. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, phone lines, text lines back open. Your thoughts on what's been a busy day? The football recruiting world, 402-413-2400. Jessica will rejoin me next.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Have you come to a decision yet, sir?
Well, I like the sports car.
It is fun.
I also love the truck.
Yes, sir.
And the SUV is beautiful.
Definitely.
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
Well, I think we'll take it.
Which one, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean the dealership.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Markowski dives in, and it counts. And a foul, and is she fired up?
On the other end, the kick out, a wide open three on the way. Bang! Harang! It's Sammy Griesel.
Hey, Husker fans. Tune in Tuesday as Trev Alberts makes an appearance on the Sports Nightly AD show from 6 to 7 p.m. On Thursday night's show, Amy Williams is in studio to talk women's basketball with Matt Coatney from 7 to 8 p.m. Tune in to your local affiliates or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hi, it's Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald.
And I'm Amy Just from the Lincoln Journal-Star.
Hey, listen, HuskerExtra.com and the Husker Extra mobile app have the best coverage of Nebraska sports.
Our reporting team shares features and analysis of all Husker sports, along with the latest recruiting news and more.
Plus, Husker Extra subscribers have access to our exclusive podcast, The Showdown, where we share our latest insights and expectations.
Go to HuskerExtra.com or search Husker Extra in your app store.
Download and subscribe today.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Come support the women's basketball team as we pack PBA on February 18th against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Join the Omaha World Herald, Lincoln Journal-Star, Husker Extra, and Beck's Hybrids in helping the Nebraska women's basketball team pack PBA on February 18th when the Huskers face Iowa. Coach Williams and the Huskers want you there to give them a home court advantage against the Hawkeyes. Purchase your tickets at Huskers.com. Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. Hour number 2 of our Monday night show. So glad you're with us here tonight. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment or question, or fire off a text. Tim in Minnesota said, developing football players out of track athletes reminds me of a blast name from the past. Ronaldo Nehemiah, who was an Olympic hurdler, ended up playing for the San Francisco 49ers. But I do think that this staff is very open, Jessica, to trying to find somebody like a Jalen Lloyd at Omaha West Side, or the the young man
Bryce
from
Turner.
Texas. And then now this Jeremiah, who they saw play basketball and go, wow, nobody's really looking at him, but we see a great athlete. We can do something with that.
Well, I mean, I've told this story a couple times now, and if you want to hear the full story, go listen to the podcast interview with Brenton Emanuel from the Nebraska track and field team. He told the story about how Bryce Turner is one of the top sprinters in high school. Everybody in the country wants him. He is so fast. I mean, you're talking about a kid that's going to be potentially competing for school records here. But he wanted to play football and run track, and not a lot of football programs were looking at him. And so Brenton reached out to the new staff, actually Evan Cooper, and it took a matter of it was just minutes, like 10 minutes between Evan seeing his film, saying that absolutely we'll offer him, and then Bryce committing immediately. And so I think, that it worked for them at Baylor. And they had a lot of guys that were big impact guys on the track team. And I think they see that the speed, speed is just a separator. I mean, how many times do we see it with Trey Palmer? It doesn't matter how good the defensive back is that's matching up against you if they can't run with you, And so I think that speed has paid dividends for them throughout the times that they've ran programs, and they're going to go after that. And those athletes, I mean, if you can be a good athlete, they can find your spot on the football field and develop you from there, because that's what this staff is going to do, and that's what they take pride in, is developing players.
The two that committed today, Ishmael Smith-Flores and then Jeremiah Charles, both have only played football 1 year in high school. And not a lot of guys like that get offers to a Power 5 school. So it's a little on the risky side, but again, that would concern me if this staff, as you just put out there, hasn't had a history of doing this before and turning that into people that are productive football players. So I'm trusting them. If they've got a track record of doing this, I put my trust that they see an athlete and they see somebody that can be a DB or a wide receiver or whatever the case may be.
I also think too, and they're young, and you never know how it will all play out, but Bryce Turner was so thankful to have this opportunity, because there weren't a lot of schools at this caliber level that were going to let him play football or offer him to play football. I mean, everybody wanted him for track, everybody, but he wants to do both, and he wasn't getting a lot of looks, and so he was so grateful to get this offer. And so for a lot of these guys too that maybe were overlooked, but they are extremely good athletes, but they didn't get it on the camp scene, or they didn't, weren't able, they went to a small school, or were maybe had specialized in another sport for a while. And so, I think guys like that come on late and get this kind of opportunity are really, really appreciative for it, and they're going to come in and bust their butts for it.
Yep, looking forward to seeing all these kids. The Jacob Hood plans on being here to get in school Wednesday. School began today, by the way. There we go. It's back. All kids are back on campus.
I didn't feel like it was overly crowded, but
they should be here. Maybe they're playing hooky, getting here late in the day.
You're supposed to skip your first week of classes. Syllabus week? You don't need to be here for syllabus week.
Yeah, they're not doing anything. No homework being done this time of week. A lot of people are having fun in the NFL talking about Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts. And you will remember, those two had an unbelievable game when Brock was at Iowa State, Jalen was at Oklahoma, a game in Norman that went 42-41 the final. Those are the two starting quarterbacks, and now they're going to play for a spot in the Super Bowl. That's a really cool deal.
You know what's crazy is Brock Purdy battled it out with Baker Mayfield. He battled it out with Kyler Murray, and then he battled it out with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And he that was a quarterback. He was not afraid to go battle Oklahoma. But yeah, I'm so happy for Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's been a guy, he's been doubted for how long? I mean, even when he was at Alabama, people said he wasn't a pro quarterback. But we had Mickey Joseph here on the show, and we were talking about that when he was at LSU and playing Alabama, that there was definitely some potential there. I just think, people get caught up in, what he did with running the football. Can he throw it? But, he was compared to Michael Jordan this past weekend, and he's not even healthy. So I'm so happy for Jalen. He's so well-liked. When I talked to Cam Jurgens when Nebraska was playing at Rutgers, boy, he just went on and on about Jalen Hurts and how much he likes him, and he's so well-liked in that locker room. So I'm so happy for him. And, boy, all those guys. Cam Taylor-Britt had a big weekend, too.
First interception celebration.
Yes.
Good for him.
And he was so emotional. So, I mean, I always like seeing those guys go on and do big things. But that's going to be a fun battle for sure.
Both games over the weekend in the NFL, those two semifinals are going to be incredible. Fox College Football's Twitter handle put out a thing today. Brock Purdy talks about what Nick Saban said to him when he took a visit to Alabama. This was a quote. This is coming from Brock, so I'm not making this stuff up. Nick Saban told him, "You're below average in height, your arm strength is whatever, your accuracy is average." And now Brock Purdy's playing for a spot in the Super Bowl. How about that? Good for Brock.
You know, it's also, too, I've had this conversation with, I have a friend that's NFL scout, and it is all about the fit when it comes to quarterback, right? I mean, had Jalen Hurts gone somewhere else, who knows if he's having the kind of success that he's having. If Baker Mayfield goes someone else, maybe he doesn't have as bad of a rough of a start to his career. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's less about, okay, and I know a lot of teams, we got to get the number one quarterback. We got to get, if there's a quarterback that's clearly the favorite, but it is so important, the fit, when in terms of a quarterback and getting to where you can go be a part of a system that works best for you. And Brock Purdy is a guy, I mean, obviously thriving and he's just a winner. You know, people have doubted him and he just goes and he wins. You know, he just believes, he's got this confidence, but he's not cocky, just has got that swag about him that he wins football games, and he's done it his entire career.
Hey, our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands, huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. When we come back, weekend winners. Looking forward to that. That's next.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Find your next truck at Woodhouse Buick GMC. No matter where you're heading or what tasks need tackling, there's a premium and capable GMC truck that's perfect for you. Make a statement on the job site, out on the town, or wherever life leads you in the powerful and distinctive Sierra 1500, or elevate your driving experience in the adventurous and innovative Canyon. Explore our inventory online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com or visit our indoor showroom today. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Markowski dives in, and it counts. And a foul, and she fired up.
On the other end, the kick out, a wide open three on the way. Bang! Harang! It's Sammy Griesel.
Hey, Husker fans. Tune in Tuesday as Trev Alberts makes an appearance on the Sports Nightly AD show from 6 to 7 p.m. On Thursday night's show, Amy Williams is in studio to talk women's basketball with Matt Coatney from 7 to 8 p.m. Tune in to your local affiliates or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval. Buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back with our final segment of our Monday show. Time to see what's on tap, presented by Bud Light. Husker men's basketball again has had their game move from tomorrow to Wednesday, 6 o'clock against Northwestern. The Wildcats are getting over their COVID issue. In fact, they played tonight and won. They beat Wisconsin in Evanston, so they'll be coming off a victory coming here. But 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock pregame coverage here on the network. Husker women's basketball off until the weekend. They will travel to Iowa City to take on the Hawkeyes at noon. 11:45 pregame coverage here on the network. So a nice little break for the women. Hopefully they can kind of catch their breath and get back up. Iowa's closing in on giving Ohio State their first loss. They're up 8 with about a minute to go. So the Buckeyes may get their first loss of the season. That is what is on tap, presented by Bud Light. Time for everybody's favorite weekend winners. Do I need to start with Cole?
You can start with me.
All right, go ahead.
I'll let Andrew, I'll give it up to him. I'll let him have the other pick. So I'm going to go with Malachi Coleman and his performance in the Polynesian Bowl. Had 2 touchdowns, had some highlight reel catches, just blew up social media. It was all over. Everybody was talking about. He was one of the top performers throughout the week of practice. I think he was second in the fastest man competition as well. So just literally lit it up and just gave us a glimpse of what we can expect once he gets here on campus.
Can't wait. Andrew.
My winner, thank you for letting me have it, Cam Taylor-Britt. Woo! He showed out.
Let's go.
He showed out in that game
Sure
yesterday.
did.
And he had a great game-sealing interception to end it. And that guy's a dog on and off the field. He's such a genuine guy.
He is.
Off the field, and everybody, I feel like, gravitates to him so well on and in the locker room. Eli Apple was on Instagram, and he was only up in Cam Taylor's face. And I'm just like, that guy was such a great leader here and already taken over that locker room. So my winner is Cam.
And to see his how emotional he was coming off the field, what it means to him, he just loves it so much.
Yes. I could see him on April the 22nd being here for the spring game.
Yes, I absolutely could.
I'd love
that.
He'll come back.
Oh, he will.
Yeah, he really enjoyed
He
his
loves
time
this
here.
place, yeah.
So I think that might be an interview for us on the spring game
Oh,
broadcast.
yeah. Well, he was last year.
That's right.
He never. Hey, there are very few athletes that never told me in my entire career that every time I asked, never told me no. He's one of them that I said yes every time I asked. So he's absolutely at the top of my list.
And
you make the top of my list depending on how you are with interviews, and Cam Taylor-Britt's at the top of that list.
And he might have a Super Bowl ring. They're playing
That'd
really
be
well.
awesome.
They look great.
Good.
All right, new man.
Yeah.
Cole, what do
That's
you have
me.
for us?
Zach Taylor and the Bengals.
Yeah.
Specifically the Bengals defense, holding Buffalo to like 70 rushing yards, something like that. That's my winner.
Zach Taylor's not getting enough love nationally, but he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. I mean, you do this back-to-back years.
I think because they don't, it's not like it's flash. Well, I guess it is a little flashy, but it's also, I mean, they just go get it done. It's a little quiet, and there's not drama around it like a lot of places.
I think people want to try to say that, like, Joe Burrow is like with the shades on. He's always
Joe Cool.
Did you guys see the spin move he did for the throw?
Yes.
People are like, he's too much, but I mean, dude is a leader, and he can.
The combination in the NFL is head coach and quarterback, and they've got it in Cincinnati right now with those two guys. I'm going tennis for my winner of the week. The Huskers men started their season, beat Creighton 7-0, and the U.S. men down at the Australian Open have 2 quarterfinalists and maybe a third, as Korda is playing tonight on ESPN right now. The U.S. men might have 3 of the final 8 at the Australian Open. That's really good. The U.S. men have been in a 2-decades-long drought without having anybody on the national stage.
So when we come into this, we have to have a list in case somebody takes our.
Right.
What number was that for you?
3rd. But I was ready for it. You guys know I'm a bit of a tennis nerd. I'll stay up late and watch some of this. So, hey, programming note, folks, tomorrow night, the athletic director for the Cornhuskers, Trev Alberts, here during hour 1. We've not talked to him since before Christmas. A lot to talk about with Trev. We'll have that for you tomorrow night. Our Sports Alley Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Thanks to Jessica, to Cole, to Tim, and all of you for listening to this one tonight. Have a great night. Trev Alberts tomorrow night, hour 1. We'll do that then.
up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
Nebraska Innovation Campus creates partnerships between business and the University of Nebraska. Partners lease office space, laboratories, pilot plants, and greenhouses, all centrally located with easy access to University of Nebraska talent and resources. Nebraska Innovation Campus, creating spaces and culture that inspire. Learn more at innovate.unl.edu.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.